Hey Rangers, today we're going to be talking about Digimon Adventure Tri number 4, and this is obviously the 4th installment of the DVD series by Manga Entertainment, and I've got to admit, this one was a lot different than I thought it would be, but I generally got really invested in this one because it felt different, not a... You know when you get those happiness things, it's like everyone becomes friends again, but there was a lot of stuff in this that made me go, oh, okay, so let's talk about what you get on this disc. Now, the anime is 1 hour and 18 minutes. The special features, you only get a kind of Digi-evolution with Joshua Seth. I think I said that right. I was kind of very disappointed that there wasn't more on this one. I kind of thought there may be some more extras to it, but those are the only things. There's no trailers to anything else, or maybe a kind of... I know you get the evolution with him, but maybe a rundown of kind of like breaking it down so you know what's happened previously. But let's continue talking. This is the overview of the anime, so this is going to be from start to finish, and kind of maybe simplified because it's a long one. It starts off kind of cool, like a French film, like the very old school silent film ones, which I really liked. It had a lot of kind of music that played well with what they were kind of showing. You saw the Dark Masters, but it kind of focuses on two of the characters that we've already met. It focuses on Meike and Diago when they are kids. They're in the Digiworld and they're being attacked by the Dark Masters. Originally, I thought that this was going back, so they've just all returned, but as we see, most of them will return later on in the anime, as in the next volume, compared to where some of them turn up now. Now, Meike gets possessed by the same thing as, I think it was Kairi originally, or was it Sora? It was one of the two. She gives a message to the kind of Dark Masters and the Digimon, and then the Dark Masters and the Digimon lay on a full-on attack, goes against Meike's Digimon. Oh wee! It's kind of like, it throws you straight in, which I generally really liked about this anime. We then jump back to the kind of present day, and we see the Digidestined with their Digimon. And the Digimon don't know who they are. They're like, who are you? Oh my god, you know, they go into a panic stage thinking that they're gonna eat them, and they're really worried. Soon everyone kind of becomes friends with each other, bar the the rookie stage of Biyomon. She really doesn't like Sora, and it's very kind of meh. Like when you saw originally in the first anime that there was no hostility, there was no anger, but for some strange reason Biyomon has this really big massive problem with Sora. This kind of goes on until nearest the end, and it does get a little bit boring. There's suddenly a rustle in the bushes, and it's Meicoomon, and she's back. And everyone is kind of weirded out that she's still in her champion form, and that she hasn't actually gone back to her previous form, or anything like that. She also has all the memories as well, and she's asking for Mei. Why has Mei left her? What's going on? And she then just bolts it. She runs away. Tai and all the others kind of start chasing her, but then kind of Meicoomon jumps into a portal that she opens, and then it's gone. The Digidestined have packed a proper lunch, and that they start sharing it with the Digimon. Very soon they all digivolve into their kind of the next forms, the rookie forms. I think I may have mentioned it wrong previously. So they turn into Agumon, Gabumon, Biyomon, Patamon, etc. And they're all still kind of hungry, but they're all still saying, hey, you know, we want to be friends. Biyomon still hates Sora, and as I said, it kind of gets boring really quickly. Soon the negative energy is back, and it's affecting Meicoomon. She's going kind of crazy, but we see the negative energy. We then jump to more scenes where Sora is bummed out that Biyomon doesn't want to know at all, and this is when Tai and Matt try to kind of cheer her up. And I've got to admit, there's a joke in this that I just, every single time I hear it, I kind of start laughing, and it's when Tai just says like, oh, you know, what's your Sora problems, or something like that. Generally think it's a very good play on words. And even Sora's like, yeah, that's not funny, but Tai is like, yeah, it's actually quite funny. So they start having this kind of like moment where they're all saying like, you know, what's up? You know, we're all going to be here. We're all going to stay and talk to you until you figure this out. And when Sora's like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do this. Let's have a conversation. They see Agumon floating on a piece of wood or log, and then just they chase after Agumon. And you kind of think, oh, really? You know, at least Matt could have gone there. Tai didn't have to do that. So it's very kind of a weird situation. After they've sorted out Agumon, a chase kind of breaks out and Sora runs away, like saying, don't follow. This is when Tai and Match follow her. And this is when now Sora turns around and lays some truths on him, and it kind of sticks with them, and I'm thinking that this is the push that they need. She says that they're always fighting each other, they're not fighting with them, etc, etc, and that she's tired of seeing this, and it does stick with the boys. As we're getting down to the main problems, more stuff that Sora's giving out. Meicoomon just comes out of nowhere, and she's being chased by Machinedramon, and he suddenly just attacks Digidestined, and it's very kind of like, ooh, you survived that? Matt and Tai try and get Agumon and Gobblemon to actually digivolve, but their digivices aren't working, and you know that they've not formed that connection just yet, or realization that they need to have with the Digimon before anything can happen. All the Digidestined are attacked by Machinedramon, and we are then kind of left to a suspense, where you just see a bowl of rice or one of the containers that they've brought just on the floor after Machinedramon has blasted them with his huge cannons, and you're kind of left with a suspense moment. We now have Diego kind of running around trying to find Meiki, and he's wondering where she's gone. He finds her computer, puts in the password that they used to use, and he gains access to all the information about the Digiworld that's going on. We're also then introduced to Hackmon, and Diego's like, oh, you're gonna attack me? And he's like, I'm here as a kind of friend, or here to give information, not to attack. We then get a flashback to Meiki and Diego actually when they were younger, in college or university. Meiki is actually trying to figure out how to reboot or how to bring back her Digimon. Now we find out that if the Digimon die in the outside world, in the human world, that they are not able to be reborn in Digi-Eggs or anything like that, so they had to have been in the digital world. And this is when Diego's like, hey, maybe I can be your partner. There's a bit of joking, a bit of laughing, it's like, what? And it doesn't happen. We're then brought back to the Digiworld with Beermon and Sora, and what happens? Beermon doesn't like Sora still, so she's like going, oh, I'm flying away. But when Sora kind of breaks down and she starts crying, Beermon goes, oh, maybe I'm being a bit too tough on her. We also find Meiko in the digital world. Somehow she's there. I thought the portal had closed, but it's just kind of like, how is she there? So we find out that all the Digidestined and the Digimon, not necessarily the right pair of Digimon to the Digidestined, but they've been scattered across the digital world, and they're kind of trying to find each other, and they all kind of have realizations. Now, the main bad guy is King Drazel in this, and Hackmon is talking to Diego about what his plans are, who King Drazel is, and also now Gennai, who has become Dark Gennai. And I always remembered Gennai as the little old man, and then obviously later I think he gets turned into the young version, but now we have Dark Gennai, and the Digidestined don't know anything about this, but the distortion and the negative energy and some other stuff has affected him, and I will say this now, he becomes creepy as hell much later on, but I think I kind of figure out why. Now, Tai is in his funk as normal because he can't digivolve his Digimon, and he's really crying about it, and you kind of think, come on, it's not the same, they explain this so much later on. You kind of think, oh, why Tai? They explain this at the very beginning, or possibly in the last anime, that things aren't going to be the same, but Tai thinks it's because of him. He gets in this funk, and Carrie has to remind him and say, stop it. And then later on, she throws some home truths, and boom, he's out of his funk. Okay, so we're back with Sora. We're back with Mei. I hope I go Mei. Then we got Sora going down this route where she's just like, oh no, Beermon doesn't like me, what am I gonna do? And then Mei has to turn around and give her some home truths. And this should just literally be Digimon Adventure Tri 4 home truths. That's literally how it should be. It gets Sora out of her funk, and then suddenly Meicoomon just turns up, starts attacking them and saying like, why did you leave me? Oh, it's that sort of thing. They all make up, and Meicoomon and Mei just hug it out, and they become partners and friends again. At this point, Ken turns up, and everyone's like, hang on a minute, where are you? What have you done? Why are you here? And it's very weird, and we find out that it's actually Gennai disguised as Ken, but you kind of think, okay, where are all these Digidestined? And now I'm kind of thinking that the very image that you get at the first one, where you see the Digidestined all fall and get kind of defeated, maybe Dark Gennai did this, and when he, it's going to be later, but he licks people. He licks Sora later, he licks Mei, I think, and obviously he's probably licked the other Digidestined, so he can be able to transform into them. It's very weird. Very, very weird. But if that's how you get the DNA to do it, or the information, you just kind of think maybe a hearty handshake would do it. This is kind of getting too long. We're going to try and wrap this up now. We have Machinedramon, we have Dark Gennai. Machinedramon tries to attack, and obviously you've got lots of like dodging. Biyomon kind of steps up and says, hey, you know, don't attack my friend. And obviously then they all kind of scatter. The Digidestined all meet up and they run away. They meet up on a boat, but then obviously we've got Metal Seadramon. He turns up and he's like, yeah, I'm going to attack everybody. Knocks everybody into the water. Tai and Matt have a realization, and it's when Agumon, I think Gabumon say, why do you want to be friends? You know, why do you want this? And then they all become happy and they say, because we want to protect you. Boom! Agumon and Gabumon evolve into War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. Boom, they start fighting Metal Seadramon. Boom, all done. Meanwhile, we have Biyomon, Sora, Izzy, TK, as well as Joe with their Digimon properly. They're trying to defeat Machinedramon. This is when Sora is able to make Biyomon Digivolve all the way to Phoenixmon. We have Patamon turning into Selfiemon. I think I said that name right. Tentomon goes to Hercules Carbuterimon. And there's a whole massive fight. They're able to fight Machinedramon. Boom, he is gone. At this main point, we still have Mei and Meicoomon onto the boat, and then decides to kind of like attack her, choke her out, make sure that she is hurting, to make sure that Meicoomon turns into vicious form, I think it is, and then we just end it there. That is it. Boom. So yeah, I was kind of really weirded out by this one, maybe just because of Dark Gennai, but the whole story is actually really, really good. So I'm not going to really talk about much of the animation. We've had that in the previous videos. It's pretty much the same. The only thing I didn't like was the 3D render of Gotemon when she digivolves. I really didn't like that. It just felt very kind of, you've got this really nice background, and then you've got all this animation, and then it's just a really bad 3D render. So I'm hoping you don't see that much later on, or hers is just the weirdest one. I did like the very kind of French film thing at the very beginning. It felt very different and very kind of, oh, this is actually kind of cool. I generally really like that. It just felt very different, and I'm kind of glad that I liked it. It felt different. I like different at times. The writing to me was very, very easygoing. The only thing that I didn't like was the way that Biyomon was with Sora straight away in her rookie form as well as her kind of normal form. I just generally did not like this. It just felt very kind of off, and it felt very, there was stuff put in there that didn't need to be, like kind of tension and frustration that maybe if Biyomon had turned around and said, hey, look, you know, I don't know you, stop acting like you're my friend, let's start being friends, but let's kind of take it slow. It just didn't kind of fit right, and that's the only thing I didn't like in the writing. Also, Dark Gennai, he was very creepy, and again, I can understand that you have evilness and that he is now evil, but I would have much preferred if they had written him a little bit different. Maybe in the Japanese voices, he is completely different, sounds completely different, but the English one, not liking him that much. Characters, all pretty much the same. Biyomon, didn't like. What made this interesting for me? I generally really thought that the way that the story unfolds, first of all, how you see Meiki and Diego, how they're interacting when they're kids, the whole French film appeal, that was something slightly different. You don't normally see that in a lot of anime. And then also the Digimon becoming friends with the Digidestined again, some of the jokes as well, and obviously the kind of action straight away. It kind of slow plays it a bit, but then it kind of picks up and you're like, wow. Even the Digi evolutions, like some of them gave me goosebumps when just seeing them, when they were shouting out their new names. I was like, this is awesome. So my final thoughts on this is I've generally enjoyed the entire series so far. I really like how it's telling a bigger story, and that this isn't like a season. If it was a season, obviously it would be more kind of flushed out, but for what it is and for the amount of time that I've invested in watching this, I generally really have enjoyed this. The animation is great, the story is great, it's interesting, it doesn't bore me. I know that I can watch this over and over again and I'll be happy with it. I can see that there's a lot of emotion, I can see that there is a lot of stuff that they've put into this to actually make it interesting and not be kind of boring and genetic. I really want to know what happens, so when they leave it on a cliffhanger, like the ending, it's like, wow, I need to see the next one. I need to see what is going to happen to the Digidestined. I'm looking forward to it coming out in English. I want the next one now. I want it now so badly. So I'm going to leave it there. There is kind of my review from beginning to finish. My thoughts of what I've thought about it, as you know. So my question is to you, Rangers, is what do you think about this? Do you like the way that Digimon Adventure Tri 4 has been going on? Are you enjoying the storyline? Are you excited? And again, spoilers for me at least. Don't tell me what happens next, but are you excited to see what happens next? Or from what you have seen next, what are your thoughts on it? Again, don't spoil it for me. I'm very genuinely looking forward to the next one. So I'm going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed this video, like, favorite, comment, and consider subscribing. Check out all the other videos on the channel. If you want to help out the channel on Patreon, link is in the description down below. And as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.